Hey everyone, J7Jace here, bringing you a video on when you should steal in Final Fantasy Tactics as well as in War of the Lions. Now everyone's playstyle or goals are all different, so play how you want. I'll be going over what I personally recommend taking. Just note for better results when stealing, make sure you have good or best Zodiac compatibility with the target, have a higher speed stat, steal from behind ideally or to the side, and be a monk with steal as brawler and attack boost will increase your steal percentage, and lastly, taking an enemy's shield or cloak first can be ideal, so when going up against Elmdore on the PS1, take his shield first. For the most part, I don't like stealing in Chapter 1 at all, as there are no rare items, and you can eventually buy everything you see. Now in Chapter 2, you could steal Gafgarian's equipment when he betrays you at Zurchill Falls to get duplicates of it, but I still don't think it's that worthwhile. Now if you love rare or uncommon items, I do recommend stealing the Blood Sword at the Gallows or Execution Site. It's a good collectible as you can't get this item until later into Chapter 4 by poaching Hydras, or by finding it on these two treasure hunter tiles in Midlight's Deep and at Eagrose Castle. It becomes irrelevant kind of fast in my opinion, but it's still cool as you will heal with your regular attacks. Just don't use it on undead enemies as it will heal them and harm you. And in the following battle at Lionel Castle Gate, you could also steal the Ancient Sword before being able to buy it in shops in the next chapter, but I don't suggest doing it, but it can be a pretty cool strategy in defeating Gafgarian. In Chapter 3, I didn't find it worthwhile when it came to stealing items as well, as you can get much better equipment at the shops. So this brings us to Chapter 4, where there are a lot more stealing opportunities. At the free city of Bervenia, Meliaoul has two good items which you can steal. The Defender Knightsword, which has 16 weapon attack and a lot of weapon block, making it the best weapon for parry or weapon guard, and Chantage is a great accessory. It's a female exclusive, and it grants permanent regen and re-raise. Assuming you don't want to poach for these, as the Defender is a rare poach from Elder Treants, and swines can't be encountered until way later, or if you have regular pigs lay eggs. Just make sure to have Safeguard or Maintenance on, as Meliaoul's sword skills can break your equipment. The Glacial Gun, aka the Blaze Gun for my PlayStation 1 players, from Barich at Beddha Sandwastes is a fantastic weapon to steal, especially for gun users like Mustadio. If you miss out on this weapon, you can steal one from the Chemist at the second battle in the Beowulf Sidequest at Goland. Or you can always try your luck at stealing one from Chemists and Orders in the Germinas Peak Rare Random Battle. Now, if you're on the PlayStation 1 version of Final Fantasy Tactics, in the second battle at Limberry Castle, Elmdore's Genji gear can be stolen. The Masamune is also another fun choice too, as it's a pretty rare katana. This is the only way you can ever get the Genji items. Just try to disable the assassins by leaving them in critical HP, or to finish them off outright. I also recommend lowering Elmdore's bravery, as his blade grasp can make stealing a pain. Then steal his Genji shield first, and to use Ramza's Yell or Scream to increase your speed stat for a higher success rate. This is probably the hardest side quest when it comes to stealing, and most of the armor isn't actually that good to be honest, but it's a huge badge of honor and it's awesome for collectors. Just don't try to sell it to Rick from Pawn Stars. Now on War of the Lions, there is the optional battle with Clishan at Dorter. He has a Dragon Rod, which isn't really all that special, but it's a pretty rare item, and the only other way you can get this is by rare poaches from the Blue Dragons. Steal it for collecting, but don't take it to a pawn shop. At Eagrose Castle, Dycedarg has a Defender, which can be a nice item to steal. Just be careful though, as he can also break your equipment, just like Meliaoul. Once you unlock Malone, the second time you encounter Clishan, you can also steal another Dragon Rod from him if you want. This wraps it up when it comes to stealing in the main story battles. However, if you're on the War of the Lions, I do recommend stealing in some of the extra side quests, as quite a few of these items are very limited in quantity. In disorder in the order, the Venetian and Kaiser shields, along with ninja gear, are great items to steal, as in most cases, these are very limited in quantity. Although they aren't as rare, the Sasuke's blade, glacial gun, blaze gun, and barrette are also good items to grab too. Just note that the enemies here don't have a death timer, so you can keep reviving them, and be sure to equip your lovely Holy Knight with weaker equipment or to KO her outright, as she will be a guest in this battle. In the second battle at Lionel's new Liege Lord, I do really recommend stealing the Masamune from one of the female samurai, and the barrette, kachushas, and chantage are also fine items to steal as well. Just don't KO Bremon, as this will trigger the second phase of the battle, making all the ladies disappear. And feel free to KO Beowulf in this fight, as it won't cause a game over, unlike the battle with the Least. Last but not least, you can actually get more lordly robes if you have access to multiplayer and rendezvous on the PSP version of War of the Lions. In the 10th battle in the rendezvous mission Brave Story, Balmafra has a lordly robe, which I highly recommend grabbing, and you can also steal a ribbon and chantage from her as well. In random battles, especially in earlier chapters, if you're at a higher level, human enemies can have much better equipment than what you can buy at the shops, so stealing here, or better yet enticing them, can be a fine option as well. You will just need some luck, as encountering human enemies in random battles can be kinda rare. These are all the times where I recommend stealing in Final Fantasy Tactics, as well as in War of the Lions. Hope this helps you out in your future playthroughs of FFT. Take care, and all the best to you.